Josh Allen didn't search for excuses. He didn't point fingers. He didn't hide behind injuries, officiating, or the randomness that so often defines playoff football. Instead, he stood at the podium, eyes red, voice cracking, and placed the loss squarely on himself. In that moment, raw and unfiltered, Josh Allen revealed more about who he is than any highlight reel ever could. The Buffalo Bills season ended Saturday night in Denver, falling 33-30 in overtime to the Broncos in a divisional round game that felt as exhausting emotionally as it was physically. It was nearly 4 hours of tension, momentum swings, controversial moments, and missed opportunities. When it was finally over, the scoreboard told a simple story. The aftermath told a far more complicated one. Allen was already emotional before he even began answering questions. Still in full uniform, sweat barely dried, he tried to gather himself and failed. Tears came quickly, words came slowly. "It's extremely difficult," he said. "I feel like I let my teammates down tonight." Those words landed heavy because they came from the one player no one in that locker room wanted to hear them from. Without Josh Allen, the Bills aren't in this game. Without Josh Allen, Buffalo isn't a perennial playoff team. Without Josh Allen, this franchise does not experience the relevance, hope, and expectation it has carried for the last 7 seasons. And yet, that was precisely the point. Allen doesn't measure himself by baseline standards. He measures himself by championships. Anything short of that feels like failure. This loss hurt differently. Not just because it ended another season without a Super Bowl appearance, but because the path felt clearer than it ever has. Patrick Mahomes wasn't waiting in the AFC Championship game. Lamar Jackson wasn't there. Joe Burrow wasn't there. For once, the mountain didn't seem quite as tall. The Bills didn't even win the AFC East. They knew the road would be difficult. 3 road games, no margin for error, but they also knew they had the best quarterback left standing. That was supposed to be enough. For most of the fourth quarter, it looked like it might be. Buffalo led late. Even when Denver forced overtime, Allen still had the ball with a chance to end it. One drive, one moment, one legacy-defining possession. Instead, it unraveled. Allen finished the night with 283 passing yards, 3 touchdown passes, and 66 rushing yards. On paper, it looks like another strong postseason performance, but paper doesn't tell the whole story. Allen also turned the ball over 4 times in a 3-point game. 2 interceptions, 2 fumbles. Each one mattered. Near the end of the first half, with no timeouts and only seconds remaining, Allen scrambled and tried to do too much. The ball was knocked loose from his right hand. Denver recovered and kicked a field goal as time expired. 3 points in a game that went to overtime. "Can't do that," Allen admitted afterward. He didn't argue it. He didn't justify it. He owned it. Early in the third quarter, he was strip-sacked again, overwhelmed by a pass rush that Buffalo struggled to control all night. Later came the interceptions, including the most painful one in overtime. A deep shot to Brandon Cooks that, for a moment, looked like it might set up the game-winning field goal. Instead, the ball was ripped away by Jaquan McMillian, and the Broncos took possession. That play will be debated. Was Cooks down? Did he have control? Should it have been reviewed longer? Those questions will linger, but none of them mattered to Allen in the moment. When you shoot yourself in the foot like that, you don't deserve to win football games, he said. That's a brutal thing for an MVP caliber quarterback to say about himself. It's also the kind of statement that explains why his teammates rally around him so fiercely. Moments after Allen spoke, left tackle Dion Dawkins was asked about his quarterback's comments. He didn't hesitate. He shook his head, eyes filling with tears. "He didn't let us down," Dawkins said. Then he couldn't say anything else. He dropped his head, turned toward his locker, and cried. That scene captured the truth better than any analysis ever could. This wasn't a team frustrated with its quarterback. This was a team heartbroken for him. Wide receiver Brandon Cooks echoed the same sentiment. Talking about the disputed interception in overtime, he was composed. Talking about Allen, he wasn't. His voice trembled. Tears rolled down his face. "He's been carrying us all year," Cooks said. "Somebody's got to step up and alleviate some of that from him. When you're great and you feel like you have to do so much, you have the opportunity to force some of those things. That's the burden of greatness." When you're the reason your team survives, you also become the one who feels responsible when it doesn't. Head coach Sean McDermott made it clear he wasn't letting Allen shoulder this alone. No, it's not on him, McDermott said. We had opportunities, all of us, let me say. I'm extremely proud of him. He's a tremendous leader. McDermott also voiced frustration with how the overtime interception was handled, noting that such a pivotal play deserved more scrutiny. These guys spent 3 hours out there pouring their guts out, he said. To not even slow it down, that's why I'm bothered. Still, even McDermott's defense of Allen couldn't lift the weight from his shoulders. Quarterbacks don't get partial credit in January. They get legacies. In time, the details of this game will blur. People won't remember the late drive Allen led to tie the game. They won't remember the defensive penalties that put Denver in scoring position. They won't remember the injuries Allen played through or the hits he absorbed. They'll remember whether he won a Super Bowl. That's the cruel reality of the position. Dan Marino lost 10 playoff games. No one remembers the specifics. They remember that he never won the big one. John Elway carried undermanned Broncos teams for years, losing 3 Super Bowls before finally breaking through late in his career. Allen is walking that same path now, whether he wants to or not. He'll turn 30 this offseason. There will be more chances, but nothing is guaranteed. The Patriots are rising again. Mahomes, Jackson, and Burrow aren't going anywhere. The league doesn't wait. That's why this loss felt heavier. That's why Allen sat alone at his locker long after most of his teammates had left. Blank stare. No words. Just the weight of another season ending the same way. We wouldn't be here without Josh Allen, offensive tackle Spencer Brown said. That's the leader he is. He's going to take the blame and be the front face for what happened here today. I love the guy. Josh Allen will carry this loss. He always does. It will stick with him, just like he said, but it will also shape him. Because on the nights when everything falls apart, when seasons end in silence, character still shows. And on the most painful night of Buffalo's year, Josh Allen showed exactly who he is.